into the little bit more, we're going on from logistics to unboxing. We have on stage Mark and Give, who are the co-founders of Suri. Who has a Suri toothbrush in the room? See, everywhere we go, people have the toothbrushes. Mark, honestly, have you seen that before?
Who doesn't have a Suri?
Why don't you have a Suri toothbrush? And Molly from PennyBlack.
Amazing. Thank you, Tash. Hello, everyone. Like Tash said, I'm Molly from PennyBlack. PennyBlack is a e-commerce marketing platform that allows brands to turn their unboxing moment into their newest and highest performing marketing channel through hyper-personalized inserts. Like Tash said, for the next 15 minutes, you're in for a treat because I'm joined by Mark and Give, co-founders of Suri, the sustainable toothbrush brand. And we're going to kick off with both of you introducing yourself and talking about your journey to Suri today.
That's probably the best way. I mean, we're like an old married couple. We interrupt each other left, right, and center.
Yeah. Actually, talking about which.
That's our secret sauce, though.
So my name is Mark. I am one of the co-founders. I started my journey working at Procter & Gamble in a variety of sales and strategy roles, ultimately working on Pringles when it was sold to Kellogg's. I then went on a journey of self-discovery and won a competition to sail around the world and all sorts before setting up the UK arm of a German experiential marketing agency, which I scaled from my kitchen through to exit over a 5-year period. And during that time, I won Oral-B as a client across Europe. So I really learned how to engage with sort of dental professionals. But I was very fortunate to be invited to the Cannes Lions, which takes place in the south of France during that time. And at that event, I bumped into this guy.
That's probably the first time you've ever said that version of the story. We bumped into each other on a speedboat. I'm not going to say the rest of that story, but that was the first time we talked about, we both found out that we worked at P&G, so I started my career at Procter & Gamble. Also, I worked in finance and marketing roles, ultimately brand manager on Gillette. I then moved to WPP, a large advertising holding company, and that's where I met Mark. And we started talking about consumer brands and how they were extremely unsustainable, unenjoyable, and just a lot of opportunity, particularly in the oral care space. We came across the fact that, toothbrushes aren't recyclable. They're almost like a second or third to plastic straws, and people throw them in the recycling bin or they throw them out. And so we knew we wanted to work in that area, but it took us 8 years to get around to doing it. So fast forward 8 years after that, during COVID, we both somehow found ourselves out of our jobs. The job just before, after WP, was at a company called Mirma Ventures that I had, working in the beauty space. Do a lot of you work in the beauty space? That's hard work. You need to give yourself a pat on the back. Luckily, there's a lot of experts here, but I struggled. I'm glad we sell toothbrushes now. And then we started building Suri during COVID. We both had young daughters at the time, just when we were really building, and we knew we wanted to build a brand that would be better in the world for them, or better for the planet, and actually have an impact. And I think when you have a child and you're building a business at the same time, you really want to create something that has some impact on the future and the next generation.
Great answers.
Sorry, we talked too long. You have to cut it.
No, I love it. It's like, that's why I'm excited for everyone else, because you both just have such inspiring journeys, and the way you talk about the product and the brand is just, it inspires me every day. So just keep it up. I like it. Keep going. I'm sure a lot of you that don't have Suri toothbrushes probably have the good old Oral-B electric toothbrush. And Oral-B have been dominating the electric toothbrush market for a while, but as we saw, Suri is kind of on the rise. So I wanted to speak to you both I would like to share with the room how you've become a challenger brand to the big players like Oral-B, and what advice you'd give to other brands within the room.
So I think it's like a very traditional business way of thinking about it, but it really starts with a problem. So as Give alluded to, every year over 4 billion toothbrushes are thrown out and end up in landfill and oceans. Virtually every brush you've ever used since you were a child probably still exists. But what's more is, in our opinion, those big brands, their brushes haven't meaningfully changed in decades. They're bulky, they're welded shut, so when the battery dies, you literally have to throw them away and buy a whole new one. That's not sustainable or economical. And can I just show, everyone put your hand up if you brush your teeth, first of all, fully up. Keep your hand up if you use an electric brush. Yeah. And keep your hands up if you use the Bluetooth app on your brush every day. Oh, that's funny. But I guess all of you are probably charging your brush every few days, maybe once a week. That's both irritating and not necessary. And then lastly, has anyone ever had that disgusting kind of crud on the bottom? You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, yeah. you need a Suri. Come and talk to me afterwards. In fact, I got one here. So we thought we'd make a brush that was more sustainable and more enjoyable to use, and so that's why we created Suri. We don't have Bluetooth apps. We have a 40-day battery life. We have a magnetic mirror mount, so you don't get that crud. But also, and most importantly, we use plant-based materials. We offer free recycling, and our battery is repairable.
And I would just add that we weren't geniuses. We didn't come up with all these insights. We did a lot of consumer research. We were constantly spending 100 quid at a time on SurveyMonkey, getting 1,000 responses, seeing what they were saying, getting those insights, finding that people hated the fact that they had to charge the brush all the time. Toothbrush gunk, it's a real thing. And with those insights, we started designing our product. And I would say that is those golden insights, you start with your friends and family first, right? They're always going to be like, great idea, go for it. But raw consumer insights are so rare and so powerful. People who don't know you, who are willing to tell you this is a terrible idea, and really finding out what sucks about other brands, even look in other categories, and that really shapes the design process for creating a product that is great.
But it's kind of business 101, isn't it? It's like listening to your consumers, like truly listening to them. Like no one had been screaming for more Bluetooth apps, and yet somehow more and more are being created.
Yeah. And can you tell me a little bit more? When we spoke before, you talked a little bit about this minimal, lovable.
So Mark cringes when
product.
I say this. So
yes,
I'm happy you're asking about it. We firmly believe that the minimal viable product is a thing of the past. Like, no longer can you build it and it will grow, or people will fall in love with it. It's a minimal lovable product, is what we say. Like, you have to make the bar keeps going up. Anybody can produce a product today, find something on Alibaba, rebrand it, and sell it. And so consumers demand more. And so you really have to make something that will delight your first followers, not just get them happy, but really delight them that they're going to share it, and that will bring your CPAs down and everything else. So beyond your first followers, your second followers, your third. And so we call it a minimal lovable product, and I think that that goes with execution, right? So being really close to execution, how you do everything, what's your packaging, and then what's the experience that people have.
Yves said we're not geniuses, but I actually credit Yves with being a bit of a genius when it comes to this stuff, because genuinely
First time he's ever said that.
Yeah, last time as well. But like, it's that level of attention to make every single touch point a little bit better, and it's not making like one touch point really good, but like every single thing, like how can we optimize this, to be the best that it could possibly be, which is why we've really love PennyBlack, because anyone can put an insert. I imagine a lot of people here put inserts in their product, save a discount. But how many people here can sort of track the efficacy of that, or can personalize it, or can run specific campaigns? And so I think that's just been part of our journey.
100%. I could actually talk a bit about that.
Yes, please. That's why you're here.
Before we were doing inserts, the first thing we started doing referral codes that were dynamic. Hey, Give, here's your code, Give 2021. And the beauty of that is you can track exactly the revenue that comes from it. I think I was looking at the numbers the other day, and I was telling PennyBlack, well, all of that revenue is not from you. We've got email flows, and I looked in Klaviyo, and we had turned off the email flows, and they weren't working. And so I was like, oh, actually, we've made, I guess I can say the numbers. Last month we did 20,000 referral from the cards themselves, so they definitely pay out. But I think the most amazing thing is the dynamism of it, and the personalization, right? In marketing, personalization is key. If I can address you by your first name in most touch points, that will be much more relatable. And so when we send packages to influencers, and the other thing I love, I didn't say how we were introduced to you, which is through our accountant we're working with, which I don't normally take marketing advice from them. But honestly, I was like, it was a no-brainer. You worked with all of our tech stack, Klaviyo, which was a must, and all of our segmentation that we did in Klaviyo could immediately have segmentation in our packaging. And so when we send packages to influencers, which normally is a pain in the neck and you have to do it by hand, we were able to do it all through our normal fulfillment processes by simply having a totally different card show up when they ordered. So when they ordered, it was like, here's your discount code to share. And by the way, here are the top 3 things you'd love to plug. I was listening to Tales earlier. We don't give prescriptive stuff. Like, we're like, do what you do best. But this is the key points that you want to mention.
Something I would say as well is like, we're fairly brutal. If something doesn't work, then we just cut it quite quickly, and we're constantly
very
doing
cheap.
that. Yeah, we're always looking for return on investment, and then also how to maximize value. So even before this sort of meeting or discussion now, we are sort of meeting with the team at PennyBlack, talking about all of our future campaigns, how we can improve even further, and use some of the power of their platform to get more value. However, at the same time, if it stopped being valuable, obviously we'd stop working with PennyBlack. But they're one of the few suppliers who have sort of kept with us as we've grown. The
use cases are like so many, but we're doing a gifting campaign for the holiday season, and we are going to be doing gift cards, so people can write a full gift card on one side, and we'll be. Do you have an example there?
Yeah. Keep talking. I'll get it for you.
And so one side we have static, because we do quite a few orders, and then we have so the whole other side will be totally different, and I'll have the gift message. The font's too small on this one. We got it bigger.
This has not been signed off yet.
But okay, good.
Sneak peek for the audience.
But it'll have a gift message. We really care about details, sometimes too much. But it'll have a gift message addressed in their name, and so that if you are gifting it to somebody or you're sending it to somebody, you can have your personalized note in there, and that works with your same tech stack. Nothing needs to change.
So I don't know if we actually have time for Q&A, but I don't know if anyone has a question for us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then you probably have one more question.
No.
Oh,
I feel like you've been the best advocates ever. So any questions from the floor? Because as you've heard, they're great speakers, really interesting stories. So any thoughts? Yeah, there's one at the back there.
Referral. Right now it's the referral, but to be honest, there's so many more. We do influencers really well too. That's a huge time. We did dentists also. When we send to dentists, it's like, here's our clinical trials, here's the reports. But I would say referral. Best defined as revenue, it's referral.
I think the one I'm most interested in though is the personalized gift cards. So it's on a beautiful. I mean, that's printed. And I think that's going to work really well at Christmas. In fact, some of you who don't have a Suri brush, if you are looking to buy one at Christmas time for someone who brushes their teeth maybe, or someone you love, then, there's these brilliant personalized cards that you can see.
Well said.
So, if you just use Mark 20 at checkout, we have a competition going on.
I think, maybe.
Like literally today, I was up with my 2 kids all last night. I'm absolutely knackered.
Being a founder with young kids.
Yeah, the founder with young children is challenging.
Winning at home.
Our biggest business challenge is just managing the rate of growth. We're really fortunate that people really love the product and then are telling all their friends about it. As a result, all their friends are buying and telling all their friends about it. And you wouldn't not want that problem, but obviously there are associated problems with sort of maintaining that and building the team.
Maintaining capital, obviously, but also experience, right? Like as we grow, we need to make sure that we're still giving people the same customer love. When they ask us the question, how do I brush with this toothbrush? We need to give them a really good response. And as you grow, you have to add more customer service agents on and maintaining that. So that is a big challenge we have.
But one problem we don't have is scaling our inserts.
Oh, yeah. What a way to end. You've got 20 seconds. Shameless plug before we go. We do have an offer running on PennyBlack for a short time before peak. So is there another slide? There should be a QR code that comes up. Yep, so you'll get 30% off PennyBlack for the first year. Yeah. I mean, speak to James. He's right there. Yeah, it's not big enough. And you also get access to the gift note feature, so we can get you live with gift notes before peak and the Christmas seasonal sales. So those Christmas gifts will have the beautifully branded gift notes inside as well. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Have a lovely rest of the day.
Actually, I think, because you're going to sit out there as well. Yeah.